Hello and welcome to Liberty, Missouri for Kaiser Media's coverage of Grip Equipment 42nd Kansas City Wide Open presented by DFX Discs. This is a Disc Golf Pro Tour Q Series qualifier event, and we are very excited to bring you this coverage. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Dan Brooks-Wells. How's it going, Dan?
Doing really good, man. Excited to be here. This is a really fun course to watch. We're going to have a good time today.
Awesome. We have a very exciting card. Silas, Shultz, Jake Hebenheimer, John Jones, and Chris Clemons rounding out the card. A bunch of really talented pros and a bunch of very talented pros in the field as we take a look at some of the players to watch. A bunch of touring guys decided to make the stop here in Missouri for this Q Series event.
Yeah, this is a long-standing event. Really good one for everyone to get out to if you can. And we're going to start here at hole one. This is a par 4, 575 feet. OB pond is what people are worried about. There's a little drop-off zone early left, drop-off zone early to the later to the left. And then some people can try and just crush it if you have the power and go for this green. Now, there is OB behind the green as well, so you got to be careful. The normal play, if you don't have ridiculous power, which Silas does, so we'll see what he does here, is just to end up to the left and have a pitch over the OB pond.
Yep, that is what Silas is going to opt to do. Ends in that safe area left of the pond, inbounds, and should have a short approach into the green from there.
Yeah, and I would expect these guys to go for that second landing zone. It makes the upshot much easier because the basket is so close to the OB wall. Jake is going.
Is this a play for the green?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was awesome.
Pin high left on a 575-foot hole to start the day. That is pretty unreal. Got John Jones, third on the card here, calls himself Bones. I love the Twisted Tea sponsored shirt. That is awesome. He is the local here from Kansas City, so should be able to show us the ropes. That is a nice way to start his day. Safe shot, and then inbounds.
Yeah, that'll be fine. It's a difficult upshot from there, really touchy, but that's a normal play.
And Chris Clemons rounding out the card, sponsored by Discraft, highest rated player in the field, and the lefty.
That'll be safe, but he might have to deal with some trees. He might just have to, kind of pitch over. We'll see what he decides to do here.
Yeah, going to be a bit of a tight approach. Going to have to dial in the distance control on this approach into this green. But sticks, it hits one of the trees there on the backside of the green, stays close. That's a very well executed upshot.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So not only do you not want to hit the rock wall before the basket, you don't want to fly by it because it drops off. Go in. Just like that. So he's going to be about circle's edge, and he's looking at a putt back at OB.
Yeah, kind of an awkward upshot here for Silas, too. Looks like he's going with a quasi-running jump putt. Gives it a run as well. Maybe catches a little cage. These guys are looking to put some fireworks on the board early. This is going to be an eagle look for Hebenheimer. The little floaty bid comes up a bit short.
Here's what I mean. He pretty much has to run this. He's close enough. Just a bit short. But you're not too upset with that. That could get away. It could roll. It could go B. So that's a good sit.
Yep, stays close. We'll have a tap in par coming up. Clemons now. About 25 feet or so on that right-hand side for his birdie. Knocks it down. We do have to give a shout out to the single eagle on the day, TJ Grobman with the deuce. Well done. It's a great way to start your round.
Yeah, pretty much a dream start there. And that was not an easy up and down by Chris. And this is a good way to start your day for Silas as well.
Yeah, after Jake taps in this, we're going to have 3 birdies on the card.
Yeah, and this course is very technical. There's a lot of OB. So the name of the game is keeping it in bounds and trying to make your putts. I know it's in the 90s today too, so they're dealing with some pretty hot weather. A short walk over to hole 2. This is a par 3, 359 feet. Going past the short basket to this long basket here, and there is OB surrounding. So really just trying to crush something up through this gap. These wooden poles get hit a lot.
Yeah, they are well placed. Pretty cool design feature to kind of, shape this shot. Line it up for the players. Silas with a really good pull on this one. Catches that rock feature on this very neat built-up green, and it's going to have an uphill putt coming up. Looks like Jake's lining up the forehand.
This looks like it's going to be to the right a little bit, but no trouble. Looks like circle's edge, maybe just outside. And in years past, you saw us drive by that short basket. That played as like a island hazard. So I like this change. Makes it more difficult. Have to actually rip a shot out there.
Yeah, this is a good pull from Clemons. He's going to come up that same range as Silas, just short of the first level of the rock wall, about 20-25 foot putt. Let's see if Jones can get on the board here, but that is an early release, catches the left of those 2 pillars, and that is not where you want to be.
Yeah, and these are thick. This is going to be tough to get out.
Yeah, going with the pitch out forehand, trying to give himself a look to save the par. Comes out a little nose up. Going to be quite a bit short.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously this is, we're in Kansas City. The winds can pick up at any time here, so that's something to be cautious of as well, especially on these elevated greens.
Yeah, flag's still staying pretty calm so far. Looks like Jake's got a bit of a tailwind for this putt from just about circle's edge for his birdie.
Just a bit short. As you can see, tailwind dropped it. Tough to get the height.
Yeah, going uphill as well. Silas now. Ooh, a short putt for him, about 25 feet, unable to connect. But Chris Clemons, top shelf, knocks that one down.
Very nice.
Birdie start. You can tell he didn't want to make the same mistake as those other 2 guys on the card.
No, definitely not. And Jones here left with a little bit of a comebacker, and he leaves it a bit short. So this tailwind is getting at some of our players.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough start for John Jones. Not the score you're looking to take on hole 2. But still plenty of golf left. He's a local, he knows this course well. He can definitely start making his comeback now.
All right, hole 3, par 4, 605 feet. Really tight shot here off the gap. The name of the game is just getting through however you can. There's a little window up in the left side that we might see some of our players go to. Out to the landing zone here, and then you can pitch up to the right to the short basket, or most of our players are going to be going for this pretty much island green. So if you don't get out this gap to start, you're really not going to access the green. And Chris here, this is not a complete shank. There is like a hole up there for the players to hit. We just can't see it on camera right now.
Yeah, I think this is a play we've seen some players take in the past. I think Silas is lining up the roller, trying to get the disc vertical, make those gaps a little bit bigger for the disc. Just has to make sure he gets it down in time. And he does.
It's a good play. Should be a hyzer in from there.
Ooh.
I like it.
Forehand roller from Hebenheimer. We're seeing all kinds of shots here on the third.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is what this course does. It makes you be creative. That got a huge bounce. But he'll end up kind of where Silas is.
Yeah, anything that puts you out in the open and gives you a chance to get up and down is just fine. Seeing the more traditional play from Jones here, just a nice... Oh, actually, no, he's going roller as well.
He gets through. And that looks like it was perfectly executed.
Yeah, best drive of the group.
Now, you got to be careful, too. You want to make sure you throw it over the inbounds at some point in case you go OB. So you're not, 10-cupping it.
Yeah, so Silas does find that out of bounds, but he did cross. So he will have a chance to save his par coming up.
Yeah, depending on how far he went, he might have between a 40 and 50 look. Jake did the same thing. If this needs to stick. And it did.
Wow, what a fortunate break.
Unbelievable.
Didn't get any ground play up there on the green. Just dug into that thick grass. This is more what you're looking for from Clemons.
Yeah. And that's definitely using the lefty advantage right there. The way this hill plays, it's a lot better to throw left to right. Let the hill catch it.
Yeah, and John's in a great spot here because he can kind of just throw down that strip of inbounds area that you see there. Not really too concerned with finding OB. Does go a bit long, though.
I think he found it.
Yeah,
he found it a bit long.
Grass. So this is a birdie look for Jake after staying inbounds on the drive. Ooh, weird little wind lift there. Just unable to connect.
Give it a decent run. Silas here to save his par. Probably looking around 40 feet.
Yep, slightly uphill.
Just undercommitted to it. He knew it out of his hand.
And a tough headwind putt for Jones, coming back to save his par. Unable to connect as well.
Yeah, see, and again, we can kind of hear the wind now. You can see the flag blowing a little bit more. This course can get real difficult if that starts picking up. There's a good cleanup putt by Hebenheimer.
Yeah, as these guys tap in, and Chris with a great start, assuming he connects on this birdie putt, 3 for 3. Every single hole on this course averaged over par in round 1. That just kind of shows you how difficult this course is. This hole, hole 3, was the 4th hardest hole on the course at a 4.61 average. So any birdies you can pick up on this course are going to be strokes on the field.
Hole 4, par 4, 939 feet. This plays left to right off of the tee, getting to a landing zone right about here. And then you will get an elevated shot into this awesomely built up basket. OB long, OB to the right off the tee. This is one of my favorite holes on this property. This shot is so much fun to throw. And you need to get a good one out there. If you go too deep into those middle set trees, you're cut off. So it's a distance shot and it's a control shot.
Another shot that shapes very well for the lefty. Chris throws that well, puts himself right in the middle of the fairway. You mentioned it, Dan, too. Like, this course has so many great features, built-up greens, etc. We got to give a shout-out to Liberty Parks and Rec, who maintains this course year-round. It is looking in great condition for this year's event.
This needs to turn. It's not. There is OB up there. He'll be fine, but that'll be a tough shot to access the green. I don't know if he has a look. I really like the right-hand backhand slow turning and consistently turning shot. It's a really late flip, but you can get way down there.
If there's any man for the job, it's Silas. Going with that deep hyzer flip. We'll see if he has the right stability. Doesn't quite get over, though.
Yeah, and because of the amount of power he has to put on that to get it to flip, and it didn't, he probably went too far, just like Hebenheimer.
See if John can get moving back in the right direction. This one is a little more right out of the hand, but has a good angle on it.
This gets down. See, that's too far. He's going to be pinched off from those trees is what I would assume. And look, Jake he's looking up, which means he has to do a spike hyzer.
Yeah, very high in the air, trying to get himself back into the fairway.
They like it. We'll see how close he is to the basket there. I mean, that is a mash. If he can get like near circle 2 or even within 100 feet, that is an absolute crush.
Yeah, Silas looking at the same line, going up and over those trees on the right, trying to swing it back towards the basket at the very end of the flight. Comes up a bit short, but finds the fairway.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about with Jones.
Yeah, has to go through those trees.
Pretty
Does
good.
well to hit the gap, finds the fairway again, so should at least give himself a good chance to get up and down to save the par. But this is what you're looking for. Perfect drive from Chris. Has a nice smooth forehand into the green and comes up a bit short, but we'll have a birdie putt.
Yeah, Chris didn't get as much distance as I would have liked off the tee, making that second shot a little bit farther, but he'll have a look. Really good up and down by Jones right there to save his par.
Yeah, Silas actually with an outside look at the birdie. Unable to connect. We're still not to Jake's shot.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Clemons up first, just outside the circle. Doesn't quite get the height right on that one, but he'll be fine to tap in the par. And yeah, this is where Jake Spikeheiser landed. Gives himself a circle's edge look.
Just a bit high. That's incredible, though. That's incredible just to get that close from where he was.
And I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but we have to give another shout out for an eagle on this hole.
No
Scott
way.
Adams throws it in for the 2. That is
Let's
absolutely an insane score on this hole.
That's a dream eagle right there.
Par frame for our lead card, not too surprising. This is a tough one to get as they move on to hole 5.
Hole 5, very wooded shot here. This is a par 4, 624 feet. There's a left side gap that we're flying through, and there's a right side gap that kind of is a shortcut, I would say. Landing zone is up top on this hill, or maybe down to the right. Got to get it over this pond to get it up and into this green. And there is also where those people were walking, there's a path up there as well. But if you don't get off the tee, you're not going to birdie this hole.
Very well thrown hyzer flip by Clemons.
Yeah, that'll be fine. He'll have an opportunity to either take that left side or go over the pond, depending on what trees he's looking at.
Yep, Jake likes that type of spin and line. Gonna go with the forehand, righty forehand for himself. Doesn't quite get enough flip up, catches a late tree. We'll see what he decides to do from there. Doesn't quite make it to the top of that hill.
And Silas here, a little bit of a flip up. It seems like all these guys are going to take this left side route. I know you can't really see the right side off the tee, but oh, this looks beautiful.
Silas is so good at throwing those deep, committed hyzer flips through gaps like this, and yeah, that was very nice to watch. Jones now going for that same... Oh, this is that right side you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Local knows the way. That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and gets through a well-thrown shot. We'll see what his approach looks like over there in a second, but got Hebenheimer up first, lining up another forehand. We'll see how aggressive he decides to get here. Looks like he was going for the green there. Comes up a bit short, clipping a late tree, but stays in bounds.
It's kind of hard to tell. This left side, it's risky. There's really not a lot of room. So if you can go over the pond, most people do. Yeah, and that's not a bad result. I wonder if he's in like a jump putt range.
Yeah, might
so
have
here's
like
Silas.
An outside look.
Yeah, potentially. And here's Silas, and there is a sky shot here to go over the pond and swing it back left.
Yeah, going for the fairway in the sky. You can see the window he's looking to hit. Plenty of space up there. It actually ends up going a bit deep.
Yeah, he juiced that one a little bit. I guess so. You'd rather be right. You'd rather be too far than too short on this one. He might have a putt through the woods. Who knows? I love it.
Yeah.
Get a good skip. Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of ground play for Jones. Going to find himself up in circle one. Going to pick up a birdie. Oh, this is a tough shot for Jake. Going with the forehand roller.
He's going with a forehand roller with OB directly to his right. Oh, man. He gets by that last tree, he's parked.
Yeah, that was a very bold but well-thrown shot. A little pitch up for Chris. And yeah, does Silas have a putt in here? We will see.
I don't know. Doesn't seem like it if he's debating the forehand.
Just pitched it out. And this is now Jake to save a par.
Whoa.
Knocks it down. Nice
Really
little
good
stepper
save.
from just outside the circle, keeping himself bogey-free so far. And Jones now for his first birdie of the day.
Smooth.
Yeah, nice putt.
Yeah, and this hole definitely not bad to clean up your pars, especially Hebenheimer. If you're not getting off the tee, this is some tough scramble. So, well done by our card. All right, hole 6, par 4, 658 feet uphill, off the gap, trying to get to the landing zone a little bit farther than this, And there is a gap on the kind of to the right of where the drone is flying to get through. And it's kind of an S shape into the basket. So it's tricky because you can't go too far off the tee or you'll be cut off. And you can't be too short or you'll be cut off. So they have moved this tee back since last year, making this gap shot a little bit tougher.
But that is not phasing John. Throws that absolutely perfectly. He should be in a great spot for his second.
Yeah, that was pretty much perfect. Yeah. He's going to really like that.
Clemons now opting for the forehand. Very well thrown. Going to end up in a similar spot.
Yeah, not bad. A little shorter than Jones. And again, this is very specific where you need to land. You know, and if these guys throw a shot and it flips up and rides straight, you're looking at OB. A lot to think about.
This is a bit pulled from Jake. Catches some of that right side cabbage, but does get through. Pushing that backside a little bit, but still in the birdie zone from there.
This is a shot Silas knows that flip up. Pushing Heiser. This is short. That's he's going to have to pitch around this corner. See how much he tries to bite off.
Yeah, just came out a little bit low. Jake going to be first up here, though, on the backside of that fairway.
Looked like he was looking up in the sky. These guys look at routes that most humans aren't thinking about.
Yeah, but that caught early. I don't think it had the height out of the hand that he was looking for. And is going to be a scramble coming up. Silas not interested in pitching around like you talked about. Goes with the flick roller. Kind of works out for him. Is going to have an outside look from that hillside coming up.
Yeah, definitely an aggressive play, but got through, and it pays off for him.
But this is the nice part about throwing a perfect drive. Jones in a great spot, but catches one of those trees. Skinny trees in the fairway, kicks him off. And now he's in Scramble Town.
Clemons having to throw kind of an anti-flex shot into this green. Ended up a little bit to the right. We'll have an obstructed putt. See if there's anything there.
Not the worst spot for Hebenheimer to end up at the bottom of the hill.
No.
Probably 200 or less into the green, so just a nice baby turnover forehand. Oh, and he hits the top of the basket.
Wow.
Not willing to settle for the par. Gives it a bit of a run. Luckily stays close.
Not sure where that one got to, but that's what can happen when you get off the fairway at this course when we get into some of these wooded holes. It looks like he's still scrambling a little bit here.
Yeah, just a tough break off the tee there for Jones on his second shot after a great tee shot. Kicked very deep into the woods and is now going to have a tap-in bogey coming up.
Here's Shultz after his roller. Actually has a little bit of a bid here. That'll be fine. Tapping his par. Look at this. This is perfectly framed up for Chris.
Especially for the lefty putt. From circle 2. Oh, so much metal. Catches the band and the cage, but doesn't stick. I feel like with Chris's very nose down putt, sometimes you'll see that, catch a little bit of the band and then still drop in.
Mm-hmm.
But
little elevator going down.
Exactly. Going down to the first floor. But that one went below, down to the parking deck.
cleaner distance. I almost went upside down. That's how I got it. Sometimes I'm like guaranteed, and sometimes I'm like, So usually I don't.
Hole 7, par 3, 420 feet. This is a tunnel shot all the way. OB left, OB right if you get a bad kick. Throwing kind of a, for the right-hand backhand, straight shot, flip-up shot, and just the tiniest of finish. But for the most part, you're throwing 400 feet straight. It is also really important to hit this gap because the OB on the left and right are decently close. But this looks pretty good there from Chris.
Yeah,
but still
very
left
well.
with 50 feet.
Yeah, this is a demanding hole if you're looking to get the birdie. That was well thrown, but just never quite got all the way to flat. Jake is probably able to just throw like a fairway driver here with his power. Disc down a bit. Oh, but that's a bit pulled. Fortunate break to stay in the fairway.
Yeah, and again, as we were talking about Silas's shots, this is another good hyzer flip up for him. See if he can execute.
You can hear it on the camera as he absolutely just blitzes this. Oh, catches that last tree. Silas's snap is unreal to play with in person. Like, the sound the frisbee makes coming out of his hand is unlike anything I have heard from any other disc golfer. It is pretty wild. This is looking great from Jones as well.
Yeah, just catches it a little early, I would say, but good height going down that tunnel. And Jake here, this is not an easy upshot. Still left with about half the hole, maybe a little more.
But he throws it very well. Catches the pole, just drawn metal from all over the course today. It's a really great par save.
Jones looks like, oh, he's up against this tree in an awkward stance. Makes it work. That thing just died.
Yeah. John likes throwing the elevation floppy discs, so you'll see some weird ground reactions from him throughout the day when he pulls those out. A little half bid from Clemons there, from deep circle 2, and Silas with the best drive of the group finds himself in that 50-foot range. And just a bit short.
Didn't like it. Yeah, this is a really good feel-good birdie. But unfortunately, our card is not going to get one. Par's not so bad either.
Yeah, only 14% of the field taking birdie on this one. That's 16 out of our 118 player field, so nothing wrong with a par here.
All right, hole 8, 756 feet. Tight tunnel out this gap to this landing zone right about here. And then you got to make a decision if you're going to try and blast one into this green or kind of lay up to this zone. Guarded green, so you can't get too far. You can't go too far left or right. Really tough approach. But again, this is another hole where if you do not execute the tee shot, you're really pitching up to try to save your par. Yeah, as you can hear Chris say, it's out. So he's perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, can't really bite off too much, especially with the combination of that uphill and the branch that creates a bit of a low ceiling on this tee shot. So anything out the gap is just fine. Hebenheimer lands in a very similar spot to what Chris did.
Shultz is really relying on this yellow disc. You know what this is?
Yeah.
I think it's a beat-in PD, but do not quote me on that.
Crazy amount of height or anything to it.
Throws it well there, gets out the gap.
Jones here does catch one early and ended up on the left side. It seems like he's near the OB. See that white stake? He might be going over the OB.
Yeah, it looks like there's some sort of path down there on the right side. This is a risky shot if it doesn't come back inbounds. Hard to tell where it ended up.
So now it's decision time. He said, uh-oh. If it's too early, you can find OB, but I don't know what he was worried about.
Yeah, that was perfectly thrown and well inside the circle for Chris Clemons.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to throw this one farther right than your like body will let you. So that's probably why Chris said uh-oh. And Jones knows that, and he does throw it too far right.
Yeah, blind shot to uphill approach can be tough to navigate. Silas getting aggressive as well. There's a good amount of turn on this.
I think it's going to stall out just a bit short, but that'll be a good shot there.
Yeah, I'll have a long look.
You can see the tree in the middle off in the distance. That's really what they're aiming for.
Jake doesn't like that either. That was smoked.
Yeah,
that
was,
thing
man.
was like 40 feet in the air, still humming as it passed the basket.
This is next level. Look at this. Nice floaty. Perfect.
Yeah, good approach from Jones there. He must have crossed out of bounds early on that approach, never came back in. Outside look for Shultz, catches the cage, but just been a bit low on a lot of his circle two putts today so far.
Hebenheimer finding a window back behind the green.
Yeah, not a bad spot to end up at all, and knocks it down for the birdie.
Yeah, it's a pretty big gap back there. Not a bad play. I don't know if that's what he was trying to do, but it ended up working out.
Yes. Yes.
Clemons here just after his beautiful upshot, just pretty much dropping this one in.
Yeah, I don't know what he was so worried about, but it worked out fine for him.
Whoops, it was perfect.
But how else would you rather save a quad bogey than with a nasty John Doerr shot off of valley?
All right, finishing off this front nine with hole 9, par 3, 268 feet. Tight, low ceiling, kind of working its way back up at the end here and out this gap. So a lot of people, I know it's only 268 feet, a lot of people opt for the fairway driver just to punch something out here.
Yeah, that low ceiling and high floor at the end of the flight makes it tough to go too far, especially with this grabby grass. Chris pulls that one a bit, catching a tree. Toward the end of the gap might still have a long look. But this one did play as the easiest hole in the course, so if there are any must-get birdies out here, this is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Jake going with the forehand and just lifted a tiny little bit. out of the hand.
Yeah, it's so tough to actually get the height right, because if you're aiming, lower, and there's no skip off this grass, it's pretty thick, so you have to test that ceiling. It looks like Silas is going with the mid-range for a little bit more glide, and he does it well.
Yeah, you can see it just got gobbled up once it did find that grass, but had great height control on it, and able to get it up close to pin high. Bones now, after that tough triple bogey on the 8, pulls that one a bit, kicks off to the left side, and yikes, that does not look fun in there.
No,
A little
look at what he's
horseshoe
doing.
pitch out.
Have you ever had to throw a shot like this in a tournament?
I'm fortunate enough that I have not, but knock on wood, I don't want
man.
to anytime soon. That's just a brutal break.
You can kind of give this one a little bit of a run, being uphill. And he was trying, because he wasn't happy with that, and it's parked.
Yeah. Decent bit from Jones as well. We'll see where Clemons ended up. Yeah, just kind of down here at the bottom of the hill as well.
Yeah, I did.
Gonna have to pitch up for par.
Here's Shultz for his bird, looking like circle's edge. And again, he's been missing low, so I'm sure he's thinking about that. Get it up.
So surprisingly, no birdies on hole 9.
Yeah,
These players
that's not what you want.
Yeah, I mean, but even it is the easiest hole on the course at a 3.01 average, like you saw off the tee, very still narrow gap, still got to earn it. And Silas, he threw a great shot, still at a 25-foot, putt. So definitely not an automatic birdie, and these guys are going to kind of limp their way into the back 9. As we take a look at our front 9 results, Chris Clemons and Jake Hebenheimer both bogey-free, I should say. Looking to keep that rolling on the back 9. Silas, Shultz, and John Jones, a little bit of work to do. Freddie Meza and GT Hancock out to some hot starts, 6 down through 13 and 14 holes respectively. We'll see if anybody on our lead card or feature card here can catch them. For Dan Brooks Wells, I'm Nathan Johnson. We will see ya.